Hey guys, it's Mike, and it is the night before deer season opens up here, so I've got everything getting ready to get packed up. Of course, it's just a short ride down the road, but I'll go over everything with you guys real quick. I've just got my basic Realtree camo. You guys have seen it before. Some basic underlayers and some wool socks, lucky orange vest, camo gloves. These are all Realtree pattern extra. I've got a face mask, which I probably won't end up wearing, but I always bring it anyway, just throw it in the pocket. This guy's good for when I'm going out in the woods. It's a power cap. It's a little LED lighted cap, so it's good for finding your tree stand. Of course, my baby, whenever I'm doing any deer hunting, my Remington 7600 and 270 Winchester. I've got the Tactacam FTS mounted up on the back of it. I'll be filming through that. Scent away, I like the forest floor mix a little better, but I couldn't find any, and it's probably just in your head anyway, especially since I'm in an area that has a lot of agriculture, so I smell people all the time. I've got a Primos hardwood grunter. I've got it tuned down to do a doe grunt, so non-estrus, just regular doe grunt. Gonna be running some Remington golden or Core-lokt 130 grain soft points. It's just where that gun likes the most, and really the only thing I've ever shot out in any quantity. Of course, I've got the Tactacam 5.0 and the GoPro, which will be coming with me to film. And I'm in a unique situation this year, because as you saw in my last video, my wife and I were pretty successful in shooting quite a bit of venison already this season. And I'm typically a meat hunter, so I really just shoot the first thing with horns, and I'll roll some pictures of previous deer. Nothing impressive, they're just the first buck that walked by my blind. That being said, this year I think I'm going to try for something special, since I'm really not in need of venison, and we might end up looking at a lot of deer, but this year it's going to be big buck or bust, so hopefully it goes well, and let's get out in the woods. It's about 7 in the morning. Just heard a shot here on the property, so there is a deer down. Not mine, but there is a deer down, hopefully. I'm sure I'll find out before too long. Didn't see anything run through. But I'm down here hunting the barberries, so I've got limited sight lines. Gun's just been sitting here on the rack this morning. Beautiful morning for it, though. Someone's walking through the woods there. Let's see what we got. That's a little buck right there. There he goes. Not really what I'm looking for. But that's a real good sign. See him moving. Alright, so I just got a text from my dad. Guess the deer's in a precarious spot, so he needs a hand dragging it. Only about 8:30, but go give him a hand getting that thing out of here, bring my gun with me, and maybe we'll bump into one along the way. Stranger things have happened. Now I got a rough idea where he was hunting and where the buck is, so we'll work that way. I know he's on the other side of the white oak stand for me. Oh, look at that, we got deer tracks right through here. I didn't even see a deer come through here. Probably from last night. They are moving. He said he was chasing a hot doe, and I got my buck out here with his nose to the ground, so let's go start dragging this thing if I can find it.
I didn't see this until I went to find it.
Which way was he going?
Coming from this way. He came up the...
Oh, he must have came up on this side of the hill. Oh, I see him.
Yeah, he came up from, I spotted him right over in there.
Yep.
That's a good one.
That's fresh.
That's fresh, yeah.
Look at that fucking thing. I think I would have shot that one. All right, a little after 9. Just got that deer out of the woods. Sit here and see if we can't see some more. Still plenty of good time left. We didn't muddy it up out here too bad. All right, so that ends the morning of day 1. At least semi-ends it. We're still walking out here. I don't know where all the squirrels came from. It's couldn't see any during squirrel season, but now that I'm not looking for them, they're everywhere. At least we saw some deer this morning. Nothing worth shooting for me. Go back up, help my dad finish, or at least get started if he's not done gutting that deer. And we'll be out here in a couple more hours to do a evening set. We are heading back out for an evening set. Just about 3 o'clock, so slink on out to the stand and give the hardwood grunter a rip, see if anything feels like showing up. It's been a quiet evening here. About 4 o'clock. I got about an hour and a half left of legal shooting light. And these squirrels are just everywhere. Look at that little bugger. Look at them. Fat little things. Can never find them when it's squirrel season, but here they all are. Haven't seen any more deer this afternoon.
Now, unfortunately, my GoPro ended up dying on me. That being said, I had this shooter come through. Not 5 seconds after I was done filming the previous clip. Unfortunately, he gave me the slip. I never got a shot off.
Not gonna stop for me.
He's chasing a hot doe. Day 2. It's just legal shooting light now, but it's overcast, so it's kind of hard to see anything. I did see one come through already a couple minutes ago. He was a little, he looks pretty okay, but it's so hard to tell in this light. So I'll just sit here and we'll see what happens. I brought my estrus collar with me today, so hopefully that can be my secret weapon. Oh, it's a doe. A little doe.
Now, about a minute after that doe walked by, we had this little guy come right up on her tail. Wasn't really a deer I was interested in shooting, but at least we're seeing bucks.
There's a little guy. I'd have you dead to rights, buddy, if I wanted you.
I settled on in, and then a few minutes later another buck came down the path. This one a little bigger than the last.
I'm gonna let him go.
Later in the morning, he popped up on the other side of the blind, and this time he was just a little too tempting.
Meh. That's a solid deer. That is a solid fucking deer. I ain't hold a candle to my dad's, but around here, that's a good deer. There he is. He had some ground shrinkage, but very symmetrical rack. That's still the nicest deer I shot in a while. Whew. Got no regrets, really.
At the end of the day, ground shrinkage was a real issue on this guy. I'm a meat hunter. I shoot a lot of fork horns and spikes just to make sure I have venison to fill the freezer. So I'm not the best at judging them. That being said, I still got to spend a couple of days not worrying about filling the freezer and just focusing on trying to shoot a deer that I could be proud of. And at the end of the day, I think that's what I ended up with. It might not be the biggest deer I've ever shot, but it's certainly up there. And it's a good example of what a whitetail can look like in our area. Now, until the next season comes along, I'll be waiting.